Mr. Speaker, one of the greatest worries about the future is that we fall behind Communist China. The fact of the matter is, the danger posed by our dependence on China is dire. We spent decades passing policies that welcomed China into the global system. In return, China has exported oppression, aggression, and anti-Americanism. Today, the power of its military and economy are growing at the expense of freedom and democracy worldwide. It didn't start under this administration, but the current administration has clearly made it worse. Their policies has weakened our economy and made us more vulnerable to the threats of the CCP. But here's the good news. There is bipartisan consensus that the era of trusting Communist China is over. I listened to my friend, the gentleman across the aisle. I listened to your points of your concerns. Do not be concerned. Those are my same concerns as well, and they will not take place. I will tell the gentleman where the idea of all this was created. It was on a Codell to Normandy. I was there with then Speaker Nancy Pelosi, celebrating the 75th anniversary of D-Day. And as you walked those hollow grounds of the crosses of the Star of David of these young American men, and you wondered what could have been done for that day never to take place, it dawned on me at that moment in time there was an opportunity. Instead of American government not speaking with one voice, these different messages we've been providing, could we have a bipartisan committee that could look at all aspects from economics, where when we fell into COVID, not knowing whether we could have our medical supplies because China controlled so much. We learn of the farmland they are buying today, the stealing of our intellectual property. But we weaken ourselves when we fight which way to do it. Wouldn't it be better if we all came together? And for 9 months we worked on that. And we did get an agreement that we were going to start a bipartisan task force. We even had Washington Post come in and interview the members who were going to be on it. But unfortunately, the night before, then the majority party pulled back. You have my word and my commitment. This is not a partisan committee. This will be a bipartisan committee that is my hope, my desire, my wish that we speak with one voice, that we focus on the challenges that we have. How do we bring our jobs back from China to America? How do we secure our intellectual property? How do we make sure our farmland is protected? All of that would be brought up within this committee. The threat is too great for us to bicker with ourselves. The future should be determined by us. I've heard my colleagues on both sides say that the threat posed by Communist China is serious. I fully agree. This is an issue that transcends our political parties. And creating the Select Committee on China is our best avenue for addressing it. If you want to end our dependence on China, this committee will investigate it. You want to protect our national security, this committee will work on it. If you want to stop the theft of intellectual property and bring supply chains back to America, this committee will work to make it happen. Worried about Chinese propaganda in our schools and lobbying efforts in Washington, this committee will shine a bright light on it. Outraged that the CCP is buying American farmland, this committee will work to stop it. But they'll stop it with one voice. It's not one party saying it. It's America united, determining our own future. We want to stop trillions of American dollars from financing communist genocide and military modernization. The committee will work to prevent it, including by investigating how ESG benefits the CCP. The Select Committee on China will create the plan that will take us where we really need to go. It will get us all on the same page and move us in the right direction. Members of the Select Committee will work closely with their colleagues on every committee to get the job done. Is it partisan? Absolutely not. And to my friend across the aisle, if any time on the 5 items you listed that you feel something is challenging those, you come to me. Because that's not the intent and that's not what I'll put up with. I sat with the new leader on the Democrats and I told him early on of what this committee will be and who will be putting on it. We want serious lawmakers. This isn't for somebody to go in and be viral because they want to make some point. This is to work together as one Congress with one of our greatest challenges for the future. That no longer will we be dependent upon China, but no longer will we be as vulnerable. America will be stronger, dependent upon ourselves, and we will do this together. That's what the American people expect. I want this committee to last beyond who's in the majority and never, ever be decided that this is a partisan committee. You have my commitment. And at any times I feel whoever the leader puts on this committee on the other side, I told him I would approach him if I felt somebody on the other side was trying to make it partisan. Let's start with the right philosophy, with the right goals in mind, and let's work together to make it happen. I think if you will see, the chairman will be Mike Gallagher. This is a man who has sacrificed a lot. This is a man who's focused and studied. But this is a man who's not going to be partisan. We want the very best ideas. Doesn't matter where they come from. And at the end of the day, we don't need a majority and a minority report. We just need one philosophy with one principle, and America will be stronger for the future to come. And I want to thank you for your support. I appreciate it, and I yield back.
On this vote, the ayes are 3. On this vote, the ayes are 365, the nays are 65. The resolution